Welcome.
Hello.
It's me and Sam again.
It is. Yeah. Thought you got rid of us, but no.
No, we're here again. We've returned.
Yeah.
And it's vlog number 13.
It is. Yeah. Lucky for us and for you.
Definitely. We're not superstitious here. No, we don't have time for superstition. No, there's too much, looking at wool and going for walks and I don't know. It's a bummer being superstitious.
Yeah.
We're not doing it. So anyway, welcome. This is the John Arvin Textiles vlog. I am Sonja.
And I'm Sam.
And we are going to tell you all about Exmoor sock.
Yeah, exciting news. I think we teased in the last one, didn't we? Yeah, and now it's sort of the big reveal.
It's happening now.
Yeah.
It's happening. And you've made some samples on your sock machine.
Yeah, they're very exciting.
They are. This is my favourite one.
I know. Yeah, we'll talk about those later, won't we?
Can't wait.
Yeah,
we will.
Yeah. And these are the new sock colours. So our range of 13 has now gone up to 17. I can actually add up, which is great.
That's why we hired you.
And you can see lovely colours. So, we'll talk about these a bit more, but nice red and pink and blue and a lovely sort of olivey brown colour. I don't know what you'd call that, but I like it.
It's a bit indescribable, isn't it?
But that's what was in that sock sample that you liked. So
it's a bit of a Marmite colour, I think. People are either like, oh, that's obviously my favourite one, or like,
Yeah.
But that's all right. And then we also just want to show you Laura, who will be in the vlog later, showing off Kevin. She's made tiny jumpers. Which are just adorable.
I know. You need to put a little paperclip hanger in the top and hang them on your tree, don't you?
They are.
It's a bit late for hanging on the tree.
It is. It's January now. Through the magic of technology, we are filming this before Christmas, but it is coming to you after Christmas. Yeah. So on that note, we hope you've had a great kind of time off. Hopefully you got some time off. If you didn't get some time off, hopefully you still got a bit of a chance to kind of whiz round, do a bit of socializing, eat lots of food. It's always my favorite bit. Lots of festive snacking.
That's it.
Definitely. Saw in the new year in style, and wishing you all the best for the new year. Definitely. I reckon it's going to be a good one.
I hope so.
2023.
Yeah. It's got to be, really, isn't it?
It's got to be. We deserve a good one now. Surely, all of us at large.
The only way is up.
The only way is up, baby. On that note of positivity, let's get stuck in.
I think so. Lots to say.
So what I wanted to do is show you how we make our Exmoor sock. It's got 4 different fibres, which I've lined up on this shelf. And this is the actual kind of blended finished result. So I'll pop that back. And our Exmoor sock is 60% this one, which is Exmoor Blueface. Our local sheep, kind of our go-to. And then we've got 20% Corridale, adds a bit of softness, makes it a little bit drapier. And then this tiny little funny, very white thing. Look how white that is. This is the nylon, so it'll be fun to show you all that in a moment. And then this is where our colour comes from. So that's the Zwartbles, or Zwartbles, I think, is the correct pronunciation.
Zwartbles.
There we go.
I think is how you say it if you're...
Zwartbles.
Yeah, if you're a bit, probably a bit quicker if you're in the Netherlands.
Yeah. Apologies to anyone watching from the Netherlands. We do our best. So that's what's in it. And then we get this lovely silvery grey. So I shall just show you this. And it's interesting. You can see, hopefully, at least on the shelf, you can really see the different colour gradation with all of these. So you can see that the Exmoor Blueface, which is our local wool, is really quite a bit more yellow than the Corridale, which is more of a commercial wool breed. So I'll show you the staple length on all of these as well. The Exmoor Blueface is a really nice kind of durable hardy breed. That's about the staple length, and it's got a nice crimp on it. Is that focusing?
It is. It's lovely.
Very
in focus.
good. So what is an Exmoor blueface? It is actually just a breed that John sort of invented as a little shorthand. It's actually an Exmoor mule, but I think John thought like people might think it was a donkey if we called it a mule, which is fair enough. It's that's more like agricultural kind of farming terminology. So what a mule is it will be a sheep that is 50% blueface Leicester and 50% like some other kind of sheep, in terms of its parentage. So mule just means cross, really. And so the reason they cross things with a blueface Leicester is a blueface Leicester is quite a big sheep. So if you want a lot of meat, it's good to have a bigger sheep. And it also has a really nice kind of soft fibre. So this is really lovely and bouncy. It's got a nice shine to it. It's got a good bit of drape. It's soft, but it's not like, you know, incredibly merino kind of Corriedale soft, but it's definitely, I would say for most folks, soft enough to wear next to the skin, certainly for me. And because it's a crossbreed, we have the added bonus of there just being a lot of it around. So this is your standard kind of sheep that probably if you go to the supermarket and get some lamb, a lot of them will be mules. So these are our local mules, and I think we buy a fair bit of the clip these days, to be honest, for this. So that's nice. So that is our Exmoor mule, Exmoor blueface. We put it in everything. It's just a perfect kind of all-rounder fibre. Sam's winding it back up again. Thank you. Shall we return it to the shelf?
I think so. So then we can see it
There
all
we
together.
go. Very nice. Quite right. Good to have a props department.
I know. Try not to get in picture.
Then next up is the Corriedale. So this we get from the Falklands, from lovely Andrew, who's our wool agent. Maybe I won't throw it on the floor this time. And this one's got a longer staple length. You can see. Oh, thank you. So this is the longer staple length of that. So the reason we focus on the staple length so much here is because we're a worsted mill. So that means that everything gets combed a lot. So actually our machines can only run fibre that's like at least 3 or 4 inches long. So we need it to be pretty long. So that's part of the reason we put the Corriedale in this blend, is because it just helps oil, well, not oil the gears, helps the gears run, helps the wool kind of, so they call that like a carrier fibre sometimes. It's in danger of getting a bit too technical for me now with the spinning knowledge, but that much I do know. So, and then of course it's also really lovely and soft, and it's that little bit more drapey. You can see this piece here that I'm holding. It's kind of got a much slimmer profile than if I return to my Exmoor blueface, whoop, and pull the same amount off. Okay, I'm making a mess. The props department's going to have to fix it again. Thank you.
That's all right.
So you can see one of them is much happier to kind of be much slimmer, and then the Exmoor blueface fibre is just like a little bit plumper, and it's got a bit more crimp to it. So those are the basic whites, that way round. And then this right here is the nylon. Now nylon is obviously a synthetic fibre. There are many different feelings that people have about it. We don't put it in anything other than our sock range. And I think that's because the reason we use it is because it's only 10%. And I think if actually, then it means you can get a couple more years of wear out of your sock. I think on balance, after having had the conversation, John and Juliet decided that, you know, another aspect of sustainability is then also longevity. So if you're making a new pair of socks every 5 minutes because they don't have nylon in, that's also not ideal. Obviously, everyone has to make the decision that works for them. But, you know, I think another thing is longevity, so that's why we use nylon. And you can see if I am actually having real trouble kind of prizing it apart, and then when it does come apart it feels a little bit like cotton wool, and it's also obviously it's very white, and you can see it's incredibly fine, all of those individual fibers, but they have a real tendency to kind of want to mesh together.
It's very bouncy as
it's
well.
Really bouncy, yeah,
it's
and
like
very
having a rubber band.
dense. Yeah, so we put 10%, which is enough for strength, but you can see if I pull it apart there, it really just, it wants to stick to itself and also other things. So yeah, so this is the only thing that we put nylon in, but it is amazing how white you can really tell. Even the Corridel, which is bred to be much whiter than the Exmoor mule, it's very white. And then we've got this, which is a real favourite of all of us at the mill. That's our Wartbles, and again we just put in 10% here, and that is just to add that beautiful pale grey colour. So I'll just pull off, and this one again you can see is really bouncy and lovely. I think my favourite thing about the Wartbles is you can see it's not a pure kind of dark brown, because it's a natural colour. There's actually these little grey kind of wisps in there, you know, so it really looks like it's come off an animal, which for me at least is kind of the whole point of the thing. The older I get, the more my own hair starts resembling the Wartball's fibre. So I feel some simpatico with the sheep. But it's, yeah, it has a lovely colour, it's really bouncy, and there's something about it that smells impossibly sheepy. If you've ever used our Harvest Hues or the Wartballs and Exmoor Blueface blend, you'll know the smell. It's definitely a favourite of all of us. I know we get a lot of emails from folks saying that they can't stop smelling their things with Wartballs in. So it is a proper sheepy aroma. And then here we go. That's all of them together. So you can see that little heathering of the dark Wartball's fibre in there. Just really kind of lifts it, gives it a bit of interest. And especially because this is the one of our ranges that we don't blend the colours up ourselves on the machines. We get them just dyed once they've been turned into yarn, which is how most people make yarn, but not us, because we like to overcomplicate things. But for the Exmoor sock, that's how we make it. So I think it just means that there's that depth still. For me at least, I like to kind of work with something that's not a really flat colour. It just makes it a more pleasurable experience while you're using it. So that's why we decided to put the Wartballs in there. And then I think the last thing to be said about the blend is that it's also our only machine washable yarn / fibre that we do. So again, that is, you know, can be a hot debate. I think we decided that most folks, if they're making socks, it really, you do want to be able to put them in the machine, and it is just a bit easier for people. Obviously it can be quite an intensive process, making fibre machine washable. It denatures the yarn a little bit, so it will make it slightly less warm than it would be, but it also means that it's, you know, yeah, less prone to felting. And the way that they do that is they actually just kind of burn the little barbs that are on the ends of the fibre off, often with chlorine gas. So it's a bit of it's a real industrial process. But you know, most of the clothes we wear have been treated in such a manner. So really we're just about kind of giving you the facts, and then you can do with them what you will. But that is how machine washing works. And we think for the Exmoor sock that it is really nice and useful. People have busy lives, they don't want to. If it's a sock, you're obviously going to be giving it a lot of wear, whereas if it's a jumper, you know, it's probably fine to just watch your jumper once every blue moon, especially if it isn't machine washable. So yeah. That's a bit about machine washing, and that's everything in our lovely Exmoor sock blend. Hi Laura!
Hiya!
Hello again.
Hello! Come join me. I'm going to show you Kevin today.
Look how big Kevin is.
He's massive! He's our biggest machine in the mill.
He's so giant. He's about as big as the mill actually, isn't he?
If we had a bigger mill, Kevin could be even bigger as well.
Really?
Yeah. When we built him, we had to stop because there's a wall there. So we've got spares of Kevin that could make him even bigger, but we had to stop there. So, I thought I'd show you Kevin today because luckily we are spinning our Exmoor sock blend on Kevin, which Sonja is delighted to talk to you about. The Exmoor sock blend is Exmoor Blue Face Leicester,
Yes.
Corriedale, bit of Zwartballs and a bit of nylon. So it's lovely sock, hard-wearing sock yarn that you can wash your socks.
Perfect.
The Zwartballs just is the darker fibre, and that just gives it a lovely little heathered bit of colour, and the nylon just gives it that strength. It's the only thing we put nylon in, and it's because it's specifically for socks.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at Kevin.
Yes,
and how he
please.
spins. Oh, I haven't said, this is Kevin, he's a spinner.
Just in case
Yeah.
you hadn't
We get so
realised.
used to calling them by their names that we forget that they're people don't know what that means.
Yeah. What a Kevin is.
Yeah. So round the back of Kevin is loads of ends of tops. So this is tops. So you can see the fibres are aligned, hopefully, but they're not twisted at all. So they're just all parallel, and I've got to 6.5 grams per metre.
Very nice.
Very cleverly by Phil and Jack with their machines. And we put this into Kevin. It goes in the top here, and it goes under the first pressure roller. So it's kept under pressure there, and it comes down here over an apron. This little roller just keeps it under control.
What's the apron?
Oh, that's this rubber. Sorry, that's this rubber thing here. So this rotates. It's not running at the moment because it's too noisy. It comes under another roller, so it drafts a bit between these first two rollers. So you're sort of pulling the fibres apart, not stretching them, not breaking them, just teasing them apart. So you're changing how many fibres there are. You can see there it's thinner than the bit above.
Yes.
And then it goes into a second drafting zone.
Ooh.
So it goes in here, it's hidden away, but basically you've got a couple of rubber rollers, aprons, they're like sheets rolling around, and they spread out the fibres nice and evenly so they get drafted again in there. And then it pops out here after this last roller, and you've got your single ply.
There it is. Then we've made yarn.
We have.
Magic.
And so that is, the twist is inserted because this is spinning, not at the moment. So that spins around, inserts the twist into here, and it comes onto here. Where is it? It was hide around the back.
And that's why it's
Goes
called a
onto a
ring
little-
spinner,
Yeah.
because
So it goes
there's
onto
the little ring.
Traveller, and the traveller zips around the ring. Well, this is spinning to deliver it onto here. And so this will be going for, takes about 4 hours. It's a very lightweight yarn. And this bar goes up and down slowly as it's spinning. And eventually you get one nice big full one. Here's one I prepared earlier.
Very Blue Peter, love it.
So at the moment we're spinning a big batch of 250 kilos of our Exmoor sock base, and that takes quite a long time to spin. Each one of these holds about 350 grams. We've got 84 heads going at the moment, there, so if you would like to do the maths, you can work out how many times it has to cycle through this and make all of these. And if you know our range, you might recognise that this is the pure colour Mizzle. So that's a completely undyed fibre, and that goes straight in to be plied and then turned into the skeins of Mizzle.
And we make it into a 3-ply, don't we?
Yeah.
So.
And then if you know all the colours of Exmoor sock, we make this and we ply it and we send it off to be dyed. So it's the only one that we make it and then dye it. And that means they all have this plain base underneath all the dyes, so they all sort of go really nicely together into all these exciting colours, including some exciting new colours.
Yeah.
Which we're pleased about. There you go, that's Kevin and how he works to turn the tops into a spun single.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Laura.
That's all right. See you soon.
See you next time.
Bye.
Here's our little close-up then. We've got our 4 new ones on top. That's my favourite of the new ones.
Fuzz pig.
It's such a wearable kind of neutral. And then I think this is the Millfolk in general. This is their favourite colour. Most people like that. Fairy thimble, very cute. Plashes, not plashes.
No, not plashes.
Peggles. I got overexcited for the blue. That's one's plashes.
Look at that. That's a lovely,
it's
lovely bright blue.
Proper electric blue, isn't it? And we tried really hard to make sure that these new colours would like sit happily with the rest of the range. So shall we show folks the whole thing?
I'll remove these. The reveal.
The big reveal. So here they all are. We've made a little rainbow. So first up is that new bright red.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Colour there.
And that is called Peggles, and it's named after berries. So it's like a proper kind of bright, hollyberry red.
It is a hollyberry red.
That's hard to say.
That at Christmas time after a few G&Ts or
Definitely.
eggnog or two.
And then this one's Quick Beam, which is rowan berries.
That's one of my favourites, I have to say. I do like that. It's a good one for a sock, that one.
Definitely. Next is Drumble, which is a little bumblebee that's like
almost mustardy yellow, isn't it? It's really nice, and you can really see the kind of heather shades.
Yeah, because it's a paler one.
Fibres in it, I should say.
Definitely.
Another new one.
There's another new one. That's a real like old gold kind of a colour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fuzz Pig.
Which is a name for a hedgehog.
It's a little little hedgehog.
Yeah, we like the hedgehog.
This one's fairly similar to your current jumper,
It is.
Sam.
Yeah.
Nice punchy spring green
I do
that,
like that one.
which is Aggie, which
Aggie.
is a little
Great
caterpillar.
name. I know, it is caterpillar green as well. The ones that eat your cabbages.
Yeah, very much. Then there's Hemel, which is Wooded Valley.
Yeah.
So
It's a really nice, it is a green. It's a bit difficult to actually see it in.
it looks a bit blue on the camera, but it's more green
in natural
real
light.
life.
It is more of a nice sort of deepish kind of green.
It kind of reminds me of like a mallard, maybe. There's something a bit sort
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
green with a bit of blue for sure.
And this is another one of my favourite ones.
Yeah, it's just fun, isn't it?
So kind of nice, sort of almost limey green. What's the name of that one again?
Odmadod,
Odmadod,
which is a
that's
snail. So I always think it's like electric kind of snail slime colour, maybe, which is probably
Yeah.
not that appealing, but it pleases me.
And then everyone loves a teal.
They certainly do, and this is a goodie.
Yeah, it's a nice heathered one as well. It's got the nice fibre, dark fibres in there as well, which is beautiful.
That one's called Dimity, which I think is like dusk, so it's
Yeah,
like,
very nice.
Yeah.
Very similar.
and then it's got a friend,
Yeah.
lighter version, which is Mackerel Skies.
Which is beautiful. It's a nice complementary one, that one.
Mm.
And then another of our new ones.
Oh, we needed another blue because everyone loves blue.
And this is a nice sort of deep, rich, but bright blue. Which
It
actually,
is.
a bit like the red, it does kind of pop.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
pink as well. There's quite a lot of
Yeah.
real brights in the range.
Yeah.
So it's nice having a bluey bright.
And that was plashes, we should say.
Yes, which is puddles.
Yeah.
It's very onomatopoeic plashes, I think,
Yeah.
isn't it? You can just imagine stomping around in them.
And then this is the nice kind of dark blue that's been in the range for a while, which is a nice blue for people that don't like bright socks or bright outfits, but it's still a nice colour. It's a beautiful colour.
Whortleberry is
Yeah.
that one.
And then we move into the purpley range. Everyone loves a purple as well,
Bluth is
Yeah.
this, which is just flowers.
which is
Nice
lovely.
blossoms.
Yeah. And then a nice sort of pinky purpley colour, which
that one's quite punchy as
Yeah.
well, isn't
I
it?
have to say I do like the bright colours in this range. They're actually really quite beautiful. And then the final new
There's our
one,
final new one.
which is a nice pink one, fairy thimble.
Oh,
Which is that foxglove?
yeah, it is a
Yeah.
foxglove. How
And it
cute
is a very
that?
sort of foxglovey colour. I think it's a really good name, that one.
Yeah.
Chosen by the mill folk. And then this is a very underrated colour, but I think it's lovely.
It's probably my second
Yeah.
favourite. I think I like all the more moody ones. This
Yeah.
one is Bibblebug, which is a woodlouse
Yeah.
as well.
And it's but it's beautiful. It's got a nice shine on it. You can really see the shine on that one.
It's
So it's a
great
kind of a
neutral.
purpley, not purple. It's a kind of pinky,
Yeah.
grey
It's like a
kind of
taupe,
colour.
isn't it?
Yeah. And then a lovely grey.
Boulder and clouds.
Just is feeling really nice, and it gets a bit more fluffy at this end as well, because now we come to the sort of the base colour, as it were.
So that's just the undyed. So you
Yeah.
can see all that beautiful heathering from the swart balls in there.
And I'd say this one's probably the fluffiest
Yeah.
out of all of them, because it hasn't got the dye in it, so it really fluffs out.
It's
you're
probably the
using
most
it.
popular out of
Yeah.
all of them as well. People really like. I think
It complements
actually,
everything, like,
Helena
so
was saying
goes
the
with
other
everything,
day,
like,
just goes with all of
hops
them.
down the whole range, and there's nothing it won't go with.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And let's see if I can get them all on my screen together. Just about. They are beautiful. You can see that new electric blue really singing. And it's nice to have the pink in there as well, because it's another paler tone.
I think these two go really well together, actually.
They do. And you have made us some colour combos, haven't you, on your sock machine? You've been busy.
Yeah, a few samples have been made of not the whole range, but I think I've used, how many did I say, 14 out of the 17 colours, so
Well, let's check them out,
I
Sam.
thought they haven't made 14, but yeah, I've got 14 of the 17.
Let's show folks at home. So do you want to tell us about these sock samples then, Sam?
Yeah, so this one was used with the new red, which is this one here, Peggles, and the green, which is
Hemel.
Hemel.
And you've made elf socks.
I have. So these are, I named these Holly Jolly.
Perfect.
Yeah, so just in time for Christmas. So maybe a little bit late here, but
Christmas next year, though.
yeah, it's never too early to start your Christmas socks.
It actually isn't.
And we have plenty of these colours coming out, so you know, get them in early.
Definitely.
So I like that one. That was a bit of a labour of love because of the single white in there.
It's beautiful,
It's
though.
really nice. I like how it came up.
Ooh.
And then this one is using the new red and the pink, the fairy thimble, which is quite nice along with the mizzle.
Lovely. I like the inconsistent kind of stripe thicknesses you've done as well. It looks really fun to knit.
Yeah, so I just wanted to show off sort of some of the different colours and how they sort of go together. But I think this one really shows off the heathered natures of these particular ones as well. You can see the zwartbles coming through in all those colours, which you can't always see in a lot of the range, even though it's there. It just pops out a little bit, and I kind of like that sort of grungy sort of look that it kind of gives it. It's a bit.
It just stops it feeling quite so flat, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it kind of adds to that sort of beauty of sort of like when you're hand knitting and stuff. It looks like it hasn't just come out of a production line machine.
Definitely. And then next up, this is nice as well.
I like the purple one, I have to say. I like the pink with the red in the previous one was a nice kind of contrast, but this one they really do complement each other a bit more. So it's the pink again here, the fairy thimble, with the purple. It's probably one of my favourites again. I have a lot of favourites in this range. So,
That's what I always end up being like, well, they're all my favourites, actually.
But that's a really nice one there, and I really just like the purpley colour. I thought I just wanted to know what they look like together, so I just sort of decided to do another one with those colours. So that's kind of beautiful.
Definitely. And then we've got a real kind of punchy bit of fun next.
Yeah. This is definitely a fun and funky one, and I really enjoyed this one. So it's the brighter sort of pinky purple, but it looks more purple in this one because of the other colours it's with, which I think is quite interesting rather than it being a lot more pink. And then the new blue, so that's plashes, and then the really nice zingy green in there, which just kind of pops out at you, and you know, it's like a jack in the box.
They're going to see you coming if you're wearing that colour combo, aren't they?
They certainly will. That'd be great in a jumper, actually, like that.
Definitely. It'd be really cheerful, especially on these cold winter days we've got.
Yeah, there's nothing dull about this colour combination whatsoever.
100%.
It's very lovely.
All about that. And then this is a bit classier, this here.
I think this has been
bit of
voted
sophistication.
the favourite in the mill.
Surprise, surprise.
Everyone who saw this one, I think that's my favourite when it came to it. So again, it's the blue, the new blue clashes, and then it's the very, very light blue, and it's the... Is it the...
Yeah, it's the teal.
It's the teal or the green. It's quite difficult to tell when it's all like that, because everything sort of changes. It sort of colour shifts a little bit, but it's a really nice... it is classy.
Yeah.
Bit sort of like college... I think John called it college scarf design, that one, which it does look a bit like a college scarf, doesn't it?
It's nice. It makes me feel like I'm on holiday looking at the sea. It's very summery. And then this next one, which I think you've called Swamp Thing, that's my personal favourite, actually. It's really gorgeous. Do like this one. Yeah, it's a really nice colour combo of the new sort of fuzz pig, not sort of fuzz pig, it is fuzz pig, and the darker sort of mid olivey green, and this is the dark green in there as well, isn't it? So they're lovely
it's sort of that greeny end of the spectrum, but I like the fact it's kind of almost bluey in here as well.
And again, you can see that real heathering that comes through from the mizzle, can't you?
But I think that's a really
beautiful.
Nice one. Yeah.
Love them all together. It's nice how many different effects you can get just with the stripes. It's also super fun. I love the way that you've done these like thinner stripes and then also thicker stripes.
Yeah, it changes, I think, when you do striping of things, depending on the thickness that you've got, really does make a difference on the contrast between the colours, but also how much other colours, like your background colour. So I consider the cuffs to be the background colour, and it does change that when you're sort of knitting. It's kind of an interesting one. But they're also all proportional, the stripes, so they're either in 12s, 6s, 3s, 9s. They're all in multiples of 3, so they look right because they're all proportional to each other. So there's a quick tip if you ever do like stripes, and if you're making something up and it doesn't quite look right, it's probably because the proportions aren't right to each other. So,
there's always a bit of maths involved with the knitting, isn't there?
It doesn't have to be scary maths.
No, just simple multiplication.
Yeah, that's it.
Just about handle that one.
Working threes, you can do nothing wrong really. So.
I've knitted a thing. So the Exmoor sock might be just arriving onto the website and for all of you lovely folks, but actually, especially this red colour has been around in the mill for the last 3 or 4 months, maybe. Quite a long time we've had the red for. So I made a jumper. And I am so pleased with how it's turned out. It's the perfect kind of Christmassy jumper, but I love a bit of bright red. It's one of the few very bright colours that I like to wear. And so I just knew it had to be a jumper when it arrived. It might look like a little bit of a different colour, but that's because I've held it together with some mohair silk lace. And you can see it's a bit variegated. So it is from Ginger Twist, lovely yarn shop up in Edinburgh. And I am just so smitten with it. It's got this lovely cable down the side. So yeah, I'm absolutely made up with my jumper. So I would definitely recommend to anyone kind of thinking, ooh, I wonder if I could use Exmoor sock to make a garment. Without a doubt, it's great. I would say with holding the mohair lace in there as well, I got a DK kind of a gauge. So yeah, whether it's dyed by Jess at Ginger Twist or not, I would definitely well recommend that. But there's many mohair laces out there and they'll all work the same. But yeah, giant thumbs up. That's about all we've got time for today. So thanks so much for watching. We definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. We've got a few new things coming out this year that will be released across the year.
Yeah.
Some exciting yarn news.
Definitely. There's something very exciting happening with Knit by Numbers, which we'll be able to tell you about soon. And then Lauren, who sadly isn't here today, but she is working on like lots of collaborations with hand dyers. So we'll have lots of exciting hand dyed coming soon to the mill member pages. And then
I'm dealing with the annual. Yes, it will be returning. So yeah, we haven't had an annual since 2020, but the third annual will be coming out in 2023. It will be. We've got lots of patterns. There's going to be 7 patterns, so it's going to be absolutely monumental, and we think they're amazing. The patterns are not just knitting. We have lots for crocheters and actually spinners as well. So you know, keep a lookout, because we will be actually, you know, wanting a bit of help with test knitting.
There might be a test knitting call out soon. What have we got? We've got 2 or 3 shawls, depending on how you count them.
Pair of mittens. A hat.
Blanket. Very exciting blanket.
But it won't just be patterns. There'll be all the usual lovely illustrations and games and puzzles and things, and lovely illustrations and beautiful pictures of the area around where the mill is based. So you know, look out for that. We'll be telling you more as we progress.
Be more info coming soon, and I think actually the test net will probably go up in a couple of weeks from when you're watching this, which will be nice.
So if you are a knitter or a crocheter, then you know, keep an eye out.
Definitely, we'll tell you all about it all over social media and the newsletter, because we won't be able to help ourselves.
We can't shut up about things.
No, like exactly. Always too much exciting news to share. But yeah, thanks for watching today, and I think that's about all we've got time for. What are you off to do this weekend, Sam?
Well, this is a time of year I usually pick up my potatoes for putting. Well, I don't put them in the garden this time of year, but it's potato festival time of year.
Is it?
So I usually take a trip up to a nursery, actually in around Cheltenham, Worcestershire. So it's a bit of a distance from the mill, but not too far from where I live because I'm just outside of Bath. And I pick them up and then I leave them in little egg boxes to chit for a few months and then plant them out around Easter time.
And where do they chit? Do they have a special area in the house that's the chitting zone?
They're usually in the conservatory.
Nice.
But if it's not too damp, they might go in my shed this year because I had a nice big shed.
Very nice.
This year, so
very nice.
And what about yourself?
Well, I might do a bit of potatoes. But I usually go for like a bag. My mum has amazing potatoes, and she always gets like blue ones and red ones and all the different colours. Whereas I think I'm just like, I'll have 6 potato plants.
Yeah.
So a minor chit in one egg box.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit more like your mum. I have first early, second early, and main crop, and they're all things you just can't get in the shops. They're kind of oddities that just
one day
just to try it.
Something to aspire to.
Yeah.
What will I be doing? I think I'll just be going for a walk probably. I feel like it's good to get out there in the countryside, have a little walk, go and look at the sea. I did do the cold water swimming, but I think even at this time of year I can't go there anymore. So definitely no actual swimming. I might dip a toe just to see just how cold it is.
No, not my thing at all.
No. I do like it in the summer, but not in the middle of January. So I think that'll be me really. Nice pub maybe, just a lot of crafting. It's so dark and sort of gloomy, and lots of films. I've been watching lots of films. That's what I do in the winter.
Nice.
Watch films, go for a little walk, sit on the couch really. If I'm honest, it's just that time of year. It's like hunkering down time, isn't it? Nothing too ambitious. Well, however you're choosing to spend the weekend at home, we hope a little bit of it brings you some joy. Definitely, whether it's crafting or potato chitting or sitting on the couch
watching films.
Whatever it
goes.
But thank you so much for joining us, and sending you love wherever you are in the world, and hope to see you again soon.
See you next time. Bye.